Today I'm at Disneyland with my husband celebrating my forever 29th birthday by going on the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour. Yes, this is the famous tour where you get to see Walt Disney's apartment above the fire station right up there. I got to see the view from the other side of that light. In this video I'm going to break down everything we got to see and do, if we think it was worth the price, and besides the lanyard, the other free souvenirs we got. There was one I was not expecting at all. It's pretty awesome. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Theme Park Spark. We just finished going on the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour, and for the first time ever in 2026, this tour included going over to California Adventure. So you have to have a park hopper, which if you have a magic key like we do, park hopper's included, but you have to have a park hopper. So when you first go to the tour, you don't want to make the mistake we did. We went to City Hall and noticed a sign that read, Walk in Walt's Footsteps Tour, inquire here. But that's not where you want to go. I noticed another sign as we were standing there, which thank goodness I noticed it. There's a place where it says tours, and there's another sign over there. There's actually like reserved seating for people who are going on the tour.
It's all in the shade. It's really nice.
It's really nice, yeah. And there's a bathroom back there too, so while you're waiting. They recommend checking in 15 minutes early. Our tour was at noon, so we got there around 11:45, and we got our lanyards, which had like a box connected to it because our tour guide has like a microphone, and so she can talk to us through an earpiece. That way, you know, she's not talking so loudly that everyone can hear her, and we can hear her really clearly if there's like noise, because a lot of Disneyland can be really noisy with music and just people talking and whatever. It's good to know that there is like a power button on top, and there's buttons on the side to control the volume, so if you can't hear it, like, you can ask her. We did have a few problems where she was having trouble with the audio. We could hear her fine, but in between talking, sometimes she'd play music and sometimes the music wasn't playing. So, but it was no big deal. You know, that's not like a problem. Just, you know, make sure you can hear the audio and get there a few minutes early. You'll get this, and then you also get a pin with your name on it.
Oh, I'm still wearing mine.
Well, I put mine on my backpack because when I'm wearing it, it shows up like right here. So I just put it on my backpack. I also have my birthday pin on my backpack.
Because we're celebrating our birthday.
Yeah, this is my gift to myself. So we get a pin with your name on it, you get the lanyard, and then that's all you get when you first get there. Then you start the tour, and let's see, first thing we did was she talked to us for a minute, kind of just introducing, you know, what we're gonna do. And then we went over to California Adventure, which we walked through the exit of Disneyland, but they actually opened a side gate for us to get into California Adventure, so we didn't have to waste time scanning in. And then we walked around, and she showed us, told us like the history of Walt Disney coming to California and why there's some of the buildings like little, almost like Easter eggs. For example, she pointed out this letter M with a mice on it, and when we walked over to the storyteller statue, she pointed out that Marceline is written on the bottom of Walt's shoe. Walt's hometown was Marceline, Missouri. We didn't go any further than Carthay Circle. Then we turned around and we went back to Disneyland. Same thing, we went through the exit at California Adventure, walked across the Esplanade. If you're not familiar with Disneyland, the parks are right next to each other, right across from each other. It's super quick. And then we went through a side gate at Disneyland that another cast member had ready to open for her so that we could all walk through without having to waste time scanning in. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we walked over to the fire station.
Yeah.
That was basically what we did right away. We walked over to the fire station, which if you're familiar with the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour, that's kind of the main reason to go on it. We walked inside the fire station and we heard a little bit of the history about, you know, Disneyland and Walt and all that. And then it was the moment everyone has been waiting for, when you get to go up to Walt's apartment. You're not allowed to take any pictures or videos in Walt's apartment, but at the end of the time visiting his apartment, the tour guide will take your picture. The tour guide is happy to take a picture of you with your phone, but there is not a PhotoPass photographer in the apartment. Now, she was a great tour guide. We were busy. There's not very much room up there, but I wish the camera had been facing the other direction because I would have loved to have had the window with the light in it in the picture. But it was interesting hearing the history of his apartment and how, like, the couch that we're standing in front of, that was Walt's side, and then the one across from it looked just like it, but that was his wife Lillian's side, and they each had like their own side of the room, and they're actually pull-out couches, they're beds. There wasn't a separate bedroom. That's basically the whole thing. But my favorite part of all of it was looking out the window and just thinking about like Walt Disney looking out the window to Disneyland, and this is what he saw. you know, so many times from Disneyland, I'll look up and see the light in the window. But to look down and see, like, this was his view. He could see people coming into the park and everything. Like, it's kind of cool to see the other side of it. And there's a bathroom up there and a teeny tiny kitchenette with like china and everything. It was really cool to see everything. Then we went back inside actual Disneyland Park as opposed to the backstage area, and we got about a 10-minute break, I think.
Yeah.
Pro tip, if you're here on a hot day like we were, cooling towels, fans. I'll put the links to the ones we have in the description box. They're from Amazon. And go inside air conditioning when you can and get free cups of ice water when you can. During our 10-minute break, we went inside the Emporium because it's air conditioned. It's the store right there. And then I went and took a couple pictures, but air conditioning is your friend when you're here on a hot day. One of the pictures I took on our break was of the plaque under the flagpole, which our tour guide pointed out has Walt Disney's opening day of Disneyland speech written on it. So then that was about half of the tour. And then after that, we walked around Disneyland to different lands. I think we walked down Main Street, we walked over to the partner statue, we walked over to the Matterhorn. In each of these places we stopped and she told us some of the Disneyland history. From the Matterhorn, let's see, we walked by the Snow White like wishing fountain into Fantasyland. And then from there we walked through the castle over to Adventureland, and then we actually got to go on a ride. After she told us some fun facts in Adventureland, we got to do a shortcut walk through the exit almost of getting on the Jungle Cruise, and we rode the Jungle Cruise around and then met back up with our tour guide. So that was kind of a nice sit down for a minute break.
One, the only, the colossal, the stupendous, eighth wonder of the world, everyone, it's the backside of water!
After that, we walked over to New Orleans Square, and then we got another treat. I have to move this because I'm going to show you what it's sitting on. It's on a bag that has something inside that is the only thing I've had to eat so far today. This was filled with beignets. I'm going to show you.
3 of them.
Yeah, there were 3 beignets. We each got a box. There were 3 beignets in each box. And as of right now, I can't bring myself to part with the box yet, so we put them in a bag. But there were 3 beignets in each one, so the tour includes a snack. On there it says snack box, and at least as of today, the snack box was 3 beignets per person. So that was awesome.
Yep. Here's a little tip. If you're on the tour, you could mobile order at Tiana's Cafe, and is it Tiana's Cafe?
The Minjula bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could mobile order, and then by the time you get there, it'll be ready, and you can just go pick it up.
Yeah.
They get us on the train. It's kind of the same thing as the Jungle Cruise.
The train station at New Orleans Square.
Yeah. And so you end up waiting there for at least 5 minutes, just because the train is going to take a little while. And so that's plenty of time to like walk over. That's another benefit to having the earpiece and the audio. She doesn't have to yell across Tiana's table area or sitting area to let us know. Like I was actually walking, and she's like, hey, by the way, if you can still hear me on audio, when the train comes, we're gonna leave, so
yeah,
don't order a bunch of food.
Yeah.
And I gave her a thumbs up and kept walking. So
we got the beignet boxes, and she's like, we're waiting for the train, feel free to go ahead and eat the beignets now, or you can eat them on the train. Yeah, someone I think was on our tour did order a mint julep. We just got ice water. One pro tip, just Disneyland in general, is you can get free ice water at any like mobile order location. So we're just like, well, we're here, hot day, we'll take it and we'll eat our beignets and drink the ice water on the train. So, but she made it clear this isn't like a rest break, like, kind of like don't anyone go to the restroom or anything. As soon as the train gets here, we will be getting on the train. When we took the train, this is the one we were on. We were in the very first car. The very last car is the Lily Bell. That was a car especially made for Walt's wife, Lillian. And you can take a different tour if you want to see that car. Okay, there is a tour they have sometimes about the trains in particular. One more thing I wanted to mention about the lanyard that she told us when we were over by the train station is there's these dots on the lanyard, and this is Morse code of Walt Disney's speech that he made on the opening day of Disneyland in Morse code on our lanyard. It's pretty cool. Plus, I mean, the lanyard itself is just, it's pretty cool.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's high quality.
It is. I like it. So we only took the train one stop, and that was plenty of time to finish eating our beignets because I hadn't eaten anything else today because I didn't know it was going to be in that snack box and I wanted to be hungry. And I did not disappoint. I'm glad I didn't eat anything else. So 3 beignets is kind of a lot of beignets for one person.
I mean, they're kind of small, but...
They're the Mickey-shaped beignets.
But
They're
there's
awesome.
3 of them.
Yeah.
So.
Made me want to go to New Orleans and get beignets. Anyway, so we took the train from New Orleans Square over to Toontown, got off at Toontown, and then we walked over by It's a Small World, and she told us some more Disney history, and then that's where our tour ended, kind of. Before the tour was over, she had us take off our earpieces, and then as we were turning those in, we got a couple gifts, which I'm going to show you what they are. We got a postcard, which is kind of hard to see in here. Let me take it out of the paper. But it is the most famous picture of Walt in his apartment with his family. It's an envelope. I've got to open it up. I'm not actually going to mail this or write on it or whatever. This is just a keepsake. But yeah, so you can see what the apartment looks like, which when we had our picture taken, we would have been standing over here. There's the light that's in the window, and then so this side over here is Lillian, his wife's side, and this side is his side. But yeah, so that's what the apartment looks like.
If you change the carpet.
They changed the carpet?
Yeah, that's not what it looked like in there.
That's true.
I wanted to take a picture of the carpet, but I didn't.
I wanted to take so many pictures. I don't want to get kicked out of Disneyland, so I wanted to take pictures in there, but I didn't. I just, you know, let our tour guide take our picture.
Yeah.
But the picture our tour guide took actually does show the current carpet in the apartment. I guess it's a good thing she took a vertical picture after all. Being a tour guide would be kind of cool because you get paid to go in Walt's apartment.
I wonder how many steps she gets every day.
She had a Fitbit on, so I don't know. We'll tell you how many steps we walked in a minute, and if we think that this tour is worth it. And something else awesome that we got for free that we have yet to use, so keep watching because there was an added perk that I didn't even see in the description. But we also got a pin. If you're into Disney pins, or even if you're not, this is a really good souvenir. I know some people are really pin collectors, so you might want to do the tour just for the pin. It has the Mickey Mouse backers, and it's the light in the window at Walt's apartment, and it opens. Here's a closer look at the pin. At the bottom, it reads, "Walk in Walt's Footsteps Guided Tour." And when you open it up, on the inside, it has Walt Disney's signature with the Disneyland D behind it. So some really good keepsakes: the lanyard, the name tag, the pin, the postcard, the beignets. And then our tour ended by getting to go through the lightning lane for It's a Small World. You kind of get a couple lightning lanes during the tour. And then one final gift you get that you can use after the tour is you get another lightning lane just added to your, like the app. It'll show up in the Disneyland app. And you can use the lightning lane for another attraction when the tour is over. Now what's crazy is I actually have 2 lightning lanes that showed up in my app. I don't know if they just like pixie dusted me because it's my birthday and gave me an extra one, or if I just really got lucky. But I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna take it and enjoy it. And one thing that's good about these lightning lanes is it's not like you have to make a reservation. Like say you buy lightning lane for the day and you have to like find a time that's available and reserve that time and then come back during that time, and then you can't make another one till 2 hours and all those rules. This one you just click redeem and go to the attraction you want. So it's kind of awesome. We're gonna look at what's included in the lightning lane. As I mentioned, I actually have 2. So what do? We click redeem?
No. Click on just the box.
Just click the box. Do not click redeem. Okay.
Yep.
Do not click redeem again.
Right. But find out where I can go. The little blue letters right there.
Okay. Oh.
And then you have the 2 parks. You're in Disneyland right now. You would click.
So it shows me what's included in Disneyland. So it's not everything.
Right. It's the way it was explained to me was it's sort of along the route that you took for the tour.
Okay.
It's close to that. So
we can do Soarin', but I can't do Midway Mania.
Right. Incredicoaster is farther than we went.
And we can do Haunted Mansion and Indiana Jones, but I can't do Big Thunder Mountain. It's interesting that Space Mountain's included in Runaway Railway, since we didn't really go over there. So these are the rides where you can redeem your Lightning Lane after the tour. A couple other things I wanted to mention. The tour was 2.5 hours long, so it was at noon, ended at 2:30, and it ends with us going on Small World. So add like another 10 minutes or so. So if you're making like a dining reservation or something, maybe don't make it till 3 if you're doing it at noon. Save yourself 3 hours just to be safe. I hadn't eaten anything before we went on the tour. I knew it was gonna include a snack. I didn't know what it was gonna be. So I wanted to make sure that I was hungry on the tour just in case, and I'm glad I was. I would recommend eating afterwards. Although if you book a tour later in the day, you probably want to have breakfast or something first. Is it worth it for kids? I don't think so at all, unless your kids just really like walking around and listening to history. I think if you take a kid to Disneyland, they're gonna wanna go on the rides and stand in line to meet Mickey Mouse. They're not gonna wanna go on this tour. I know my 8-year-old would be bored. My 12-year-old might be interested. My 8-year-old would be bored. I would recommend not bringing kids on the tour. There weren't any kids on our tour. It was all adults. If you're not really into Disney history, the only reason to book this tour would be if you want to see Walt Disney's apartment, because you basically get to walk around and hear Disney history. So if you're not into Disney history, you don't have to be a history buff, but you have to be into Disney history or you're not going to find this interesting at all. Definitely pack your walking shoes, but on a typical day at Disneyland, I'd walk maybe 20 to 30,000 steps. Ryan has a Fitbit on. We tracked how many steps. It was about 4,000 steps. So 4,000 just for the tour part isn't all that bad. I didn't think the tour was very rushed. We were also walking at a really almost painfully slow pace.
Yes.
So if you are a slow walker, they are here for you, and like little kids with you, they will be able to keep up. If anything, I'd say the tour could have been done faster, but I'm sure we're also going at the speed of the tour guide. She's wearing heels, you know, and dressed warmer than I am on a hot day. So I know she's going at a comfortable pace for herself and for everyone on the tour. Just because I can walk double speed at rope drop doesn't mean that other people are going to be able to hoof it through the park super fast.
If you're a fast walker, it's going to be painful.
Prepare to walk slowly.
At one point, like speaking of the towels from earlier, I asked her about halfway through, you know, where are we going? Like, where are we gonna stop next? Because I'm gonna run to the restroom, wet my towel, and I'll meet you there. And she's like, oh yeah, absolutely. So you can sort of take off, just check with her first.
Yeah, make sure she knows where you are, because she does need to keep everyone together.
And her name is Julie. Our guide was Julie. Julie was fantastic.
Great. She was great. Yeah, she was a wonderful tour guide. I mean, this is my first time doing a tour at Disneyland, so I have nothing to compare it to, but you know, she was great. Here's the big thing that probably you want to know more than anything else, besides where you go, what you get, and what you eat, and how many steps you take, and that's, is it worth the price? Okay, so the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour costs $170. With the Disney Visa, the price per person drops to $144.50. Is it worth it? So for the two of us, we paid about $300 together to go on this tour. So I would say what makes it worth it for me is, if you figure the price, I would say about half of that, if you consider the lightning lanes, the free souvenirs, the beignets, that's probably about worth half the price in value right there. Just the things that you get. And then consider the other half of the price, maybe the tour itself, like the information that you get. And I would say the things that you get, it's worth it. The information, I honestly didn't really learn much, but I love like Disney history, and I've watched like behind the scenes things. So I feel like you don't need the tour to learn the things that we learned on the tour, although it is kind of cool to hear them when you're standing right next to them. The absolute best part of the tour was what you're seeing right behind me, and that is Walt Disney's apartment. And that is unique. It's the only way you can see it right now. It was really cool to be able to see the view from the other side of that window. I stood up there and looked down for a minute and just thought about what it was like for Walt Disney on opening day of the park, when he could watch guests come into the park from behind that window. So that was really cool. I'm glad I did it. This was my birthday gift to myself. What do you think?
It was worth $140, $150, whatever we paid, just to go in the apartment. I've always wanted to see it. I had never seen pictures of it, so it was completely new to me. As many times as we've been here, you know, at Disneyland, and knowing that the apartment was above the firehouse and not having any idea what it looked like, it was really nice to go in and see it. And the china is the same china that they used.
Yeah.
They had appliances that were from the 50s, I guess.
Very retro.
Yeah, it was really neat. It kind of felt like walking into my grandparents' house.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it authentic.
they had an old like phonograph, I think, and whatever the precursor to that was, that became obsolete when
they had something even older.
And just to hear the stories about the Mouseketeers and using it as a green room, and
the opening day to Disneyland, and
we have a saying, occasionally when it's like stop and take in the moment. It's like, this is now. And I leaned over to Janie and I said, this is now. You're standing in Walt Disney's apartment,
right,
on your birthday.
We also have another saying, and it's like, is it a do again? And so this is now. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's not really a do again.
Right. We got the experience. It was worth the price, but I would probably do another tour before I would do this one again.
I'd go see the Lily Bell or something else.
Yeah.
Now maybe 10 years from now, I'd be like, I want to go see Walt's apartment again, but I don't need to go on another one next week.
Yeah.
It's not like Space Mountain where I can go on it, all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Book the tour. If you want to see Walt's apartment, you get some great freebies. It's the only way you can see his apartment. It truly is impressive and a one-of-a-kind thing to be able to see that area that most park guests will never see. But if you're trying to save money and wondering if you should break the bank doing this, it just depends on what the value is to you. You could go buy 2 Spirit jerseys in the Emporium, or you could take the Walk and Walt's Footsteps tour. It's about the same price.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm glad we did it.
All right. Now we need to go use that lightning lane.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're headed over to California Adventure to use our lightning lanes. Tell me in the comments if you've ever been in Walt Disney's apartment or been on a guided tour at Disneyland. If not, would you be interested in checking out this tour? Or would you prefer to get 2 Spirit jerseys for the same price? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified about upcoming videos about Disneyland and other fun places worth visiting in Southern California and beyond. See you next time.